What's up, everybody? Welcome back to 8th grade science. If you're watching this video, you're working at station 8.5C. Station 8.5C is about the periodic table. There's a couple of key things we have to be able to do with the periodic table, and really it's a really important resource for us the whole year, okay? So I want you to turn yours sideways. I know yours is not going to be printed like this, but turn your paper sideways so you're looking at the periodic table like I am. We are going to talk about how to find a couple things on this table, where metals, nonmetals, and metalloids are located, and also what increases as you go two directions. Okay, I want you to write everything I write. We're going to practice doing this with our periodic tables. First thing I want you to do, and I'm going to do it in red, is to go above every row that has something with an A in it at the top and box it. So I see 1A, 2A, and then I look through the middle here. There's a bunch of B's. I don't want those. Those are called the transition metals. I do not want those. But I also come up here and I see 3A and I'll box it. 4A, 5, 6, 7A, and 8A. And then I want you to write up here, box equals number, valence, electrons. This is one of the most challenging questions we've had all year, and scholars are still making mistakes. If you need to figure out how many valence electrons are in an atom, all you have to do is know what atom you're looking for, find it. Let's say I'm looking for phosphorus. I want to know how many valences there are, and trace up until I reach something A. So phosphorus, for example, has 5 valence electrons because it's in group 5A, all right? That is something we have to get down, is that the A number tells us the number of valence electrons. You don't have to think anything past that, okay? Also, we're going to make a couple key lines. I'm going to start by using blue. And I want you to trace what we call the stair step. It's actually darker on your periodic table. I'm not sure how this will print out, but it's darker. It's a dark black line. And this stair step separates a couple of things from each other. This stair step separates, and I'm going to use blue to label that these things on the left are the metals. And I actually want you to take your pen or pencil and finish tracing where these metals go. And then you notice I'm going to cut off hydrogen. It's because hydrogen is a special one. It's a gas, but that probably won't come up very often. So everything inside of blue is a metal. Metals have a couple of properties, alright? I want you to write shiny and conduct. They conduct electricity and they conduct heat. Metals are on the left side of the periodic table. They conduct electricity and they conduct heat. Now what I want you to do is take your pen or pencil, and I am going to actually trace in this stair step on the other side, and then we are going to put some stars and things. I want you to put a star in this box, star in this box, this box, this box, in this box. The green things we just starred, these are called metalloids. They're on the stair step. If it's a metalloid, it is brittle, dull, poor conductor. They look like metals, except they are brittle, which means they break. They look like metals, except they're dull, they aren't as shiny, and they don't conduct heat, and they don't conduct electricity, okay? That leaves everything else that I'm going to use red for. No, I already used red. I'm going to use orange for. And I want you to make another line with the same colors. You should have colored pencils at your table. The orange things, and I'm actually going to come right down here for space. Orange is called the non-metals. Alright. So metals and metalloids are very similar to each other, except they're a little tiny bit different. Depends on like how, excuse me, it depends on like if they're breakable, if they bend, whatever that might be. The difference here is that non-metals are usually gases, actually. There's a couple of things that are liquids, but non-metals are gases, and they don't conduct. So you'll notice we went on like a changing spectrum. Metals are shiny and conducted heat and electricity. Metalloids were brittle and dull, They weren't as shiny, they weren't as bendable, and they were poor conductors. Non-metals are gases generally, and they don't conduct at all. Okay, they do not conduct electricity, or they do not conduct heat. Finally, we're just going to make 2 arrows, and then actually we're going to be done for the note section. I want you to draw an arrow coming down by this 1 through 7. And this is number of energy levels. This tells you how many rings there are that electrons can get filled in on. If it's in the second row here, it has 2 energy levels. If it's in the fourth, it has 4, and so on. Then I want you to draw a line across the top. And this line is showing you increasing valence electrons. That makes sense to us. This is our group numbers. The far left of the periodic table, there's 1A with 1 valence electron. Far right, 8A with 8 valence electrons. This is how I want us marking up our periodic table every time we use it. It tells us really key information. And if we can get all this down right off the bat answering, we're going to have a much easier time figuring out chemistry stuff. All right? That is your notes. Next up, you have an envelope on your desk. This envelope contains a bunch of cards, but it contains 5 or maybe 4. It contains 4 important cards. It contains the boron card. It contains the nitrogen card. It contains the fluorine card. And it contains the neon card. What you're going to do, you're going to answer each one of these questions by sorting the cards into piles. So there are a bunch of cards, and they all match with a heading. For instance, one of these, the boron card that might match, might say it has 5 protons. If you find a card that says it has 5 protons, you would match that. With boron, you know that because the atomic number tells you the number of protons, alright? You're going to try and make piles. What are the boron cards? What are the nitrogen cards? What are the fluorine cards? What are the neon cards? Once you do that, there are a couple of questions. There's actually 4 questions per card about that atom. So you're going to sort the cards, answer your questions. When you're done, you can just mix the cards back up and put them in the envelope. And the last thing you have to do is there's 3 extension problems. All right, these are tricky star level problems that are going to ask you to use your periodic table. This is a good assessment for yourself. How are you feeling? Okay, I want you to do the card sort, complete the worksheet, and then if you get all the way to it, try the star extension problems. All right, good work.